Nobody warned me that retirement would be this quiet. The day I retired, everyone clapped. They shook my hand. They gave me a plaque with my name on it. That night, I went to bed thinking, I've earned this rest. And I had. For 40 years, I showed up. Every morning at 7 a.m. Every Monday meeting. Every late night fixing what nobody else could fix. I used to dream of slow mornings, no deadlines, and time to breathe. But no one ever tells you what comes after all the clapping stops. No one tells you about the silence. The kind that fills your kitchen when the coffee's done brewing, but no one's there to drink it with you. The kind that follows you around the house like an invisible fog. At first, it felt like freedom. Like a long, well-deserved exhale. But slowly, the hours stretched longer. The phone rang less. The mornings lost their purpose. And I began to wonder. Was I only needed when I had a job title? Was I only seen when I had a reason to show up? That's when I realized. Retirement doesn't always feel like freedom. Sometimes, it feels like fading. Fading from the noise. Fading from conversations. Fading from the world that once spun around you, and now seems to keep going just fine without you. Before I retired, my days had rhythm. I woke up with a reason. The alarm rang, the coffee brewed, the radio played the news, and my shirt hung freshly pressed by the door. There was always somewhere to be. Someone to call. Someone expecting me. I didn't realize how much those little things anchored me. Then, one day, they all stopped. No alarm. No urgency. No meetings to prepare for. No one asking for my opinion. At first, it felt like a vacation. I slept in. Took walks. Made a big breakfast. But by the second week, the house got quieter. By the third, I started watching the clock more than the TV. And somewhere in that fourth week, I realized something strange. I hadn't spoken to anyone in 3 days. I had gone from a full calendar to none at all. No deadlines. No noise. No, see you tomorrow. Just long mornings. Long afternoons. And even longer nights. It's not that I didn't have family. It's just that they were busy. And I didn't want to bother them. I thought I'd enjoy the peace. But nobody told me. Peace and loneliness sound almost the same, until you've heard them long enough to know the difference. Being alone is a fact. Feeling lonely, that's something deeper. You can sit in a quiet room and feel at peace. Or you can sit in that same room, surrounded by photos, memories, soft light, and still feel a cold emptiness you can't explain. I used to think they were the same. But now I know. Being alone means there's no one in the room. Feeling lonely means there's no one who sees you. It's not just the silence. It's the silence of not being missed. Not being asked, how are you today? Not being needed. Not being remembered. Loneliness after retirement. It sneaks in quietly. Not with heartbreak or drama. Just, slowly. Like dust collecting on a favorite chair. Like tea gone cold before you even take a sip. You don't notice it at first. But then one day, you realize. The loudest thing in your house is your own thoughts. Let me tell you about Thomas. He was a civil engineer for over 40 years. Quiet man, sharp mind, the kind who never missed a deadline. When he turned 67, he told his co-workers, "It's time. I'm going to enjoy life now." They threw him a party. Balloons. Sheet cake. A few handshakes, a few hugs. Then, he walked out of that office for the last time. At first, retirement felt like a reward. He slept in. Finally finished the mystery novel on his nightstand. He took up walking. Just short walks around the block. He'd wave to neighbors, feed the birds, even started cooking real meals again. But by the third month, something shifted. He stopped shaving every day. He stopped checking the mail. He ate whatever was in the fridge, sometimes crackers and peanut butter, just enough to not feel hungry. The house, once filled with order and rhythm, now just held him. The walls didn't echo, but the stillness did. He'd wake up, sit in the kitchen, and stare out the window. He wasn't thinking about anything in particular. Just waiting. Some days he wouldn't say a word out loud. Not one. One afternoon, while walking past the library, he saw a sign. Community Sketching Circle, for beginners. Every Thursday at 2 p.m. Thomas hadn't drawn anything since he was a boy. But that Thursday, he went. A woman in her 70s smiled and patted the seat beside her. "First time?" she asked. He nodded. She passed him a pencil. They didn't talk much. But for the first time in weeks, he didn't feel like a ghost in his own life. He went back the next week. And the week after that. Not because he wanted to become an artist, but because someone was expecting him. That one simple thing, being seen, being welcomed, was enough to remind him. He still mattered. Why is loneliness so common after retirement? Because you don't just walk away from work. You walk away from identity. From structure. From feeling needed. You become a blank space on a form. Retired. And the world slowly stops asking for you. The phone rings less. Your calendar dries up. The silence grows louder. And worst of all, you start to wonder if you even matter anymore. But you do. Because your worth never came from what you did. It comes from who you are. And that doesn't retire. Loneliness doesn't always announce itself. It shows up in small ways. Forgetting what day it is. Eating without setting the table. Not calling people because you think you'd be bothering them. Sitting too long. Saying too little. Avoiding the mirror. These are the whispers of loneliness. And just recognizing them is the first step toward healing. So where do you begin? Not with big changes, but with small ones. Step outside every day. Make tea the same time each morning. Call someone, even if it feels awkward. Join something small, and just listen. Take care of something, even if it's just a plant. You're not trying to fix everything. You're just gently reminding yourself. I'm still here. I still belong. I still have something to give. And if you've made it this far, thank you. For staying. For listening. For being here. Please remember this. You are not invisible. You are not forgotten. And you are not alone. The story is not over. Tomorrow, when the sun rises again, take a breath. Step outside. And whisper to yourself, I'm still here. And that matters.